patch 1.4. Wow, we're at 1.4 already. 1.40. Justyna releasing. Let's take a look at the patch notes here. Justyna character release. Let's see. What's her amp numbers? How much amp scaling does she get? 4.5? Oh my god. 4.5 is pretty high, no? I think that's, I mean, like, amp characters usually hover around like around 4.0 to 5. So actually, I guess 4.5 is more in the middle, but I think it's more on the higher end because most are about like 4.1, 4.2, 4.3. For passive, Justyna can store up to 200 to 250 to 300 energy, which is consumed when using Barrage and Annihilation and Boost Dash with a Q and a W. So she just has a like a bar for her mana that she gets back. While recharging, Justyna cannot use her basic skills, and she recovers energy over 3 seconds. On the state, her movement speed is increased by. Oh, is it kind of like a Dina? She has to fully recharge back like all her energy back up, or does it slowly recover? Oh no, it says she passively recovers some. But if you go full out and you lose, I'm guessing if you use all of it, then you go into like this mode. Interesting. Justyna deals skill damage to marked targets. The mark is consumed. And you deal extra damage. Nearby enemies take 100% skill damage. Okay. Q damage. Okay. The range on it is actually not bad. 6.25 meters and 1.8 width. And then the annihilation area, so I'm guessing that's like the explosion, is like a little bigger. So that's pretty good. Cooldown 0.8, cast time 0.4. So you can slowly like play around it. It also does slow enemies as well. 250 damage, 80% skill amp. Pretty good numbers, I would say. W is just a the little Zerat W, I guess. But like procs twice. Two little bolts from the sky. Slows them as well. And they're marked. Okay, so you want to use W first to get them marked, and then you do extra damage for the passive. Q doesn't mark, right? Oh no. Does a Q mark as well? And this is fixed cooldown. Oh, so you can't use CDR for this, for the Q. Interesting. But the cooldown is... Oh, there is no cooldown, basically. 0.8, so you can keep spamming your Q. Interesting. W has a cooldown, and you make them get marked. And the E also has a fixed cooldown. So I guess you don't really build CDR in this character if there's two abilities that have fixed cooldowns, which is the little laser and the dash. And the dash enhances basic attack for 5 seconds, dealing additional skill damage. Each recast of the skill within 2 seconds increases the cost. Within 2 seconds, so you could use this multiple times. Match energy costs 50. Huh, interesting. So is it like within 2 seconds? So you could cast it before the cooldown, or I guess it just resets after. I'm a little confused on how this E works. Honestly. Like, what if you just wait it out? Let me see. Move it with the Q. Could just channel it with the W as well. On this one, yeah, it's just like you just rain down a bunch of rockets and it does a lot of damage. Oh, and she can move with the R as well. It's 2-second CDR, and then it says every time you cast it within 2 seconds, it increases the energy cost by 25. So I'm guessing it's sort of like Gassidon, where every time you use your E, like it costs more, but like how, well, like when does it reset? It says it resets when you recharge, so you just have to make sure you spam until you start recharging, I'm guessing. Oh, the Garnet skin's out. I don't know how much damage her ult does. It says 80 plus 25. How many times does this hit? This hits about 8 times, right? 8 times. Let's say you have about 700 amp. 700 times 0.25. Okay, 800 times 0.25 would be like 200. 280 times 8. About 1,600. I guess it's a lot if they stay there for the whole time. 8 times 280. Actually, 280 is like 2k. It is. I guess it is a lot of damage. She remains untargetable. Yeah, it looks like she's untargetable when she's casting it. Until she lands. So you actually... Oh, wow, so it's an iframe. That's actually really good. That's really, really good. It's kind of like a Zyr. Or Vanya W. I would say more like a Zyr, because it says you can actually move in it, but you are really, really slow. 60% damage or movement speed reduction. Interesting. She's untargetable until she lands. There's emotes for her. System, basic guide. We're introducing a basic guide to help players learn the game step by step. Oh, it's a tutorial. They're fixing the tutorial. Oh, that's nice. Showing like every little thing you could do. That's really good. Team fight, team up, so rezzing, teleport to teammate. It's showing oh my god, that's good. Temporary save zones. It's really nice. She can go over wall with it. Oh, that would be pretty good if she can. You can now search item by category and type at the same time. I didn't even realize you could search items like this. Yeah, I'll just search it like in the build usually. Okay, let's see. Matchmaking adjustments. South America server. Union circuit will now be open on weekends. Oh, say he's getting Union. Asia 1 server. We're segmenting the ranked queue for the players with 8.1k RP or higher. Okay, so just moving up the queue a little more for Asia 1. And I'll be expanded down to 7.8 if the queue gets too long. Mutant. As objectives have become increasingly crucial for the game, the tempo has sped up significantly, leading to overcrowding around objectives and a widening gap for players who miss the first objective in day 2. We have more diverse strategic options. We're increasing the value of mutant wolves and bears. So you're getting a lot more credits. 2 more credits per wolf and per mutant bear kill. They're trying to make it so like taking a wolf pack or a bear pack on that rotation is more viable than just going for the objective, which I think is fine. And then bats are getting extra credits as well. And mutant wolf herd or respawn time. That's pretty big. 30 seconds. You're gonna have to sort of map it out and calculate how rotations will work with this being changed now. See, there lets you use W more. It lets her get energy back, I think. Is there W energy? The energy refill? No, it's just the mark. I don't think she's using CDR, no. I'm pretty sure, like, the only thing that affects CDR is W and R, but, like, W and R CDR is going to be fake. All of her damage will come from Q and E. Pretty sure you don't put any CDR in this character, because these are both fixed cooldown. Yeah. And then she's gonna be kind of like, I think, sort of like Adina, where, like, once you run out of juice, like, once you have to recharge. Like how Adina has, like, when she uses all of her stars, she's gonna she's like in that state where she gets movement speed, and you have to like not do anything, or you just like position yourself better. Her skill up ratio on Q, which is her main damaging ability, is pretty high. It's 80%. The other stuff doesn't really matter much for her. Her Q is 80%. Her passive is pretty low. And her R is low, but like her R hits like 10 times, so yeah. Yeah, but her main damage is gonna come from like her Q, like her Q2. How's it going? Will? Are we? They don't, unfortunately. They did just release a Asia 2, but it's not SE anymore. They did have an SE server like a while ago. Alright. Let's go over other stuff. But yeah, I hope you've been doing well. We has been quite a while. I do remember you. Research lab exit loop, 30 seconds. So you can actually exit the research lab a little earlier. I like that. Entrance box item, so just a little less amount of credits in those mutant labs, which I think is fine. Augments, ghost light. So you actually need to do a tiny bit less damage to activate it. Sure. Out of combat shield, 5 seconds. Healing factor, adaptability increase by, oh, they just put a 5 base. So buffing it for the early game. And then late game, it's actually going to lose 5. They're buffing it for the early game, but they're nerfing it for the late game. I'd say you're level 10. Actually, this is kind of just a nerf all around. Because let's say you go for Tree of Life, right? You're usually going to be level 9, 10, and it's going to be about the same exact adaptability you would get from heal factor. And it's just getting nerfed into the later stages in the game, which I think is fine. I think healing factor gives a lot of stats to your allies, so I think it's okay that they're nerfing like a tiny bit. Sentinel is getting a buff, an extra 1 HP. I think we have to take Senti more. I mean, we've already been taking Sentinel because it's a pretty good augment, but they're buffing the shield more, even more, right? Where is loadouts? The buff on Sentinel, an extra, say late game at level 20, it would be an extra 20 shield. Damn, this is a pretty big buff. I mean, not that big, but like an extra 20 shield. Right now, it's already giving, like, let's say you're level 20. It's giving 150. It's going to be giving 170 now. Replies marks, consuming mark gives energy. I didn't even read that part, is it? How much energy do you get back? $30 energy. I see. 30 energy. Like, would you really build CDR just for the W? I feel like, I don't know. Like, I feel like it's kind of hard to justify. We'll see. Where were we at? Where were we at? Sentinel, Quake, nerfing Quake, the damage nerf. Wow. Oh wait, they're actually. Okay, so they're nerfing it for characters that aren't building max HP items. But if you are building max HP items, it looks like the damage is going to be about the same. Let's say you have an initial 1k HP. 1% of 1k is 10, so it's going to be the exact same. Yeah, more than 1k, it's actually a buff. But early game, you shouldn't have more than 1k additional HP, so I think in early game it's a nerf, and then we're nerfing the slow for Quake 1. But usually, if you're taking Quake, you always upgrade it first. Protocol is getting buffed. Oh, wow. 5 extra HP per level is quite a lot, because at level 20, that's an extra 100 HP. And one when Protocol is like this, where it's an extra 100, because originally Protocol was like 3, 4, 500 for 1, 2, 3. Obviously, it's only 1, 2 now. Like everyone was running Protocol, so I think with this buff, I think people are gonna come back to Protocol. Protocol violation is like already pretty good, and they're buffing it even more, so an extra 100 HP is kind of nice. Strider, after dealing damage, moves speed increased by 1 second. Sure, no one's really running Strider right now. Daniel, okay, Daniel's getting buffed. I think he did get over nerfed a little too hard. 5 AP and 10% to app ratio on W. Sure. Coco is getting more shield for W. 1% extra max HP. Razi is getting a buff as well in the early game, actually, but a nerf late game. 5% in the early game and 5% in the late game nerf. Luke is getting extra CDR with his W hits. I don't think Luke is that great right now. Sure, why not? Luke buff. Lenoir, the cooldown of E felt a little too long, so reducing by 1 second. Dylan is getting a nerf. Dylan has been showing strong offensive power while also absorbing a lot of damage with W. Reducing both, so reducing the skill damage reduction, 5% and 1% basic attack gap. My changes I think was the biggest this season, where they completely reworked their W, and I think Maya's kind of fallen under the meta, so it looks like they're giving Mai some love again. 3 defense, 3 HP. Dash speed on E is going to be slower though, so it's gonna be, you're gonna be able to react to it more, and same thing with E2. Interesting. Protocol buff is giga cool, good. It's not affected by, yeah, exactly. I mean, I already been saying like protocols are really good. Like it's already in a decent spot, but they just buffed it again by like 100 HP at level 20. A level like 10, which is like mid game, which is like your first fight, will be buffed by 50 HP, which is not that much, but like sometimes, you know, that 50 HP will like win you some team fights. So this is a really, really good buff for protocol. I think people will probably run protocol again, because I always remember when people run protocol, and when the meta shifts from like soul suit to protocol, is when they add like an extra 100 HP to the HP increase. Because yeah, like you said, Kaz, it's not affected by a heal cut, right? It's just extra HP, and then when you lose the buff, like the HP is just added on from the difference of your previous amount, so like your like previous cap. Really, really good augment if you can utilize it well, but it is really hard to utilize it correctly. Marcus, slow duration on R, sure. Magnus is getting reduction on his Q by 1 second. Okay. Barbara is getting a buff, giving the turret a little bit more damage, and dropping the W cooldown by 1 second. That's pretty big. So she will be able to do a lot more in team fights. Attack speed mastery for Celine. That's totally fine. If it was feeling really awkward to auto attack to use her passive, like I think this is like a good change for her, so she feels a lot more smooth. And they're actually buffing her passive by 20 damage and 5% skill up. Sure. I think that's fine. If it was really awkward to auto attack without building any like auto attack items on Celine, to utilize the passive, like I think it's fine. Like good quality of life change to make the character feel more smooth. So as it gave her like damage as well on top of it though on her passive. Chukai is getting 1 second cooldown on W. Wow. Okay, so he's gonna be able to use W a lot more. R slow by 10%. Didn't even realize it slowed by 40%. I didn't even realize it was that much. I think Celine should get 100% attack speed when she has her buff active, to be honest. That would be fine too. Kind of like how it's how they changed it with like Sua and like some other characters. I think there's another character that gets full attack speed now. I forgot who it was that they recently changed that has the passive. like an auto attack passive. Who was it? Who was it? I remember there was another character that they recently changed. Was it Tazi or Cicella? I don't think so. I swear I remember them changing another character to give them attack speed as well. Your guy getting buff is surprising. Is he one of the best tanks right now? I would say he's definitely up there. Auto should hit in AoE and healer. Yeah, good one. Oh, was it Laura? I think it was Laura. Yeah. It was probably Laura. It's like 100% attack speed on her passive now too. Okay. We're just gonna continue though. Shuichi, slow. Cicella, they're actually nerfing the Cicella route damage. So like when the Q travels, I mean, I don't think this matters that much, but sure. Adela's getting extra skill amp. Wow. Or bat. Oh, it's bat. It's not rapier. 0.2. Okay. Arda is getting a cooldown nerf. I saw Arda being picked so much in ERM. They're actually nerfing his R cooldown. They want them to... Wait. Oh yeah, they're nerfing the RE duration, so you can't just sit on the RE for... Was it 8 seconds? Holy fuck. And they're nerfing the range on it as well. Wow. By 1 second. So you can't... They're trying to nerf like the Arda double frontline combo, like double bruiser combo to jump on backlines because it was really strong in like pro play and in like high tier early KR. Honestly, that's a fine change. I don't know why this was 8 seconds. You could just hold the fucking gate for that long. And then like Arda can always just use the gate again, I think. I'm pretty sure the RE would probably come back up before this like the gate ends, or it would be like really close, or like about the same time. I do think yeah, I should move over back to like the RW or the RQ to make Arda more healthy. Yeah, seals are nice as well. Yeah, they did buff RW and they buffed the RQ. It's good. Abigail has been struggling across the board. We're increasing the movement speed of Q. Sure. 2%. Assault Rifle Aya is getting a buff by 0.1% amp. And Isoul is getting a nerf. Wow, so they just moved Isoul's damage to Aya's damage. Isaac, after our last patch improved Hound's arrest usability, Isaac's performance has increased significantly. Since hitting the skills is now easier, we're reducing its defense reduction to keep things balanced by 3%. Sure. Alonzo Energy Punch skill range was feeling a bit short, making it a primarily follow-up or increasing the range and movement speed. Okay. Making Alonzo feel a little more smooth, increasing the range of Q by 0.5 meters, and you get more movement speed while walking to them. Sure. We're increasing Tonfa Yan's attack speed to make basic attacks feel smoother. Wow, 0.6 attack speed mastery, which is a decent bit. Level 20 I'll be 12%, so just a quality of life change for Yan to make Tonfa Yan feel better. But most Yans I think are playing glove anyways. It's just like the burst amp Yans. Shurikenema has been performing well, especially when hitting with Dove Dealer Q, reducing its power. Meanwhile, her Arcana version has been recording a very low pick rate, so we're increasing its power. Okay. Buffing Arcana, nerfing Q damage. Alright, so great. IRM's been recording a low pick rates, so they're buffing W damage on Cat W. Shuriken Zahir is getting nerfed. Jackie is getting a buff on under passive. Yeah, it is definitely a lot of attack speed for Tonfa, which I think is fine. I mean, most people are playing glove. people want to play like the burst amp variant, then sure, then just should make it feel a lot smoother to combo. Because I think when you're playing Tonfa Yan, you don't build any attack speed. It might just be Tellurian Timepiece, but I think most just go like just full amp. It's because, yeah, Yan's only go like Sports Watch or Tellurian Timepiece. Only have like one attack speed, and more like gloves. Glove usually has like 2. They're just buffing it to make it feel more smooth. Even if you do have a boosted attack speed. Okay, so Yan is another one that has boosted attack speed when they get the enhanced auto, huh? But even sometimes it's just not enough. Like, I remember back then when Su only had like 40% attack speed, like it was a boosted attack speed, but like it wasn't, like it didn't feel like as good. Like you'd still have to build like 1 or 2 attack speed items, so they're just making it feel more smooth for him, which I think is fine. Let's see. Jackie is getting a buff, passive. We're increasing life and death seal, targets HP. Okay, it's right here. Here's the change. The passive targets max HP, so she's gonna be more of a tank shredder, or she'll do more damage to tanks, which I think is good. Max HP. Just 1% as well, so it's not that bad. Or I would say it's a pretty decent buff. Camillo. Wow. 10 damage and 5% amp on Q. That's a pretty big nerf, no? Because like Camillo Q's like 10 times in a fight. That's a pretty big nerf. We do have an ad, so I'll probably just wait. I'm gonna slowly scroll through. How much do we have left? Okay. Where were we? Wow, yeah. That is a big nerf. Yeah, I was saying this nerf for Camillo is pretty big. It's 10 base damage and 5% attack power. And Camillo uses Q like 10 times in a fight or something. So that is a lot of damage gone. That's a lot of damage gone. Carla, reducing Carla's passive gauge charge time and buffing Q to give Carla more impact in fights. Wow, that's a pretty big buff. 15% attack power on Q. I know Carla's don't build attack power, they build amp, but you still have the basic attack power on Carla. And it's getting like 15% damage for every Q, and then like 1% or 1 second on passive. That's pretty good. It'll charge faster. Wow. Previous victory has been consistently lower, buffing the Q damage and R damage. Okay. Her Carla is pretty good. I mean, Carla, like, I would say Carla's like a really pretty solid pick, and they're making her a lot stronger. And then this Camillo nerf is big. And then Priya, some extra damage on Q to R. Rapier Fiora has extremely low pick rates, so we're increasing her power to encourage more players to pick her. Oh, yeah, I was playing Rapier Fiora. 0.1% skill amp. I was playing a weak character. Fire's been doing well, but her Q delay was dealing excessive instant damage to enemies, reducing its damage to keep things fair. 20 damage on W on Q, and 10 damage on first Q. Oh no. This is the second Q, but I see. The longer you charge it, it'll do more, but like they nerfed them out. Phase is getting 40 HP. Sure. We're increasing Hyunwoo's attack power, particularly to help glove Hyunwoo. 0.2. I'm guessing they nerfed glove Hyunwoo a little too hard. So it's gonna get 4 extra AP at level 20. Reducing the early cooldown of Hyejin E. Alright. Oh, that is a lot of changes for Hisui. Hisui has shown moments of overwhelming power, making it difficult for opponents to counter in certain situations. However, despite this impression, Hisui's overall performance hasn't been particularly high. There are many cases where Hisui struggles, leading to inconsistent results. The balance is we're toning down some of Hisui's key strengths while improving base stats to provide more stability. E can now be interrupted by crowd control, requiring more careful usage. Hisui can now only move with W2 when hitting an enemy, adding more risk while increasing its reward on hits. Additionally, weapon skills no longer stack, making it hard to use W3. I feel like this is just big nerfs, though. They're giving her extra 4 defense and 4 HP per level, but you could get CC out of E now. Your W will only be able to W2 when you hit an enemy. Damn. We're enhancing Hisui's skill cast time reduction based on the additional amount of attack speed. Oh, this is actually pretty good though. If they have, because Hisui's do build some attack speed, right? So making a W delay shorter, so it could be like instant. Patch good or shit. I mean, patches are usually always fine. Like they always hit like the right characters and stuff. This one looks I can't tell because I haven't been playing lately, so I can't tell like how good this patch is. But I'm guessing like they just buff and nerf off stats, so it's probably not bad. Pharaoh Silk Glove, it's getting magnetic midnight. Oh. It's losing the smolder. Oh no. Yeah. Okay, so the bloody hand's getting magnetic midnight instead of smolder. Okay. So it's gonna be like the mithril upgrade now. It's getting 7 AP as well. Pretty good. Both gloves are the same passive now. Well, one's amp and one's AP, I think, right? Let's see. Yeah, one's based on skill amp, and another one's gonna be based on just character level. And this one also slows. This one, oh no, this one also slows. Yeah, no more smolder blood. What about Priya? I wonder how soon Priya will be hotfix nerfed. They gave her some extra damage. I don't think she'll get hotfix nerfed, but she might get nerfed on the next patch. Yeah, because Priya can use protocol, and protocol just got buffed because you just drop protocol when you ult. Same thing as like using totem, but like it's better because you get the HP and you give your teammates HP. And then you also get Sentinel, yeah, if you run Sentinel on her. And Kinwu got nerfed. Oh, because of Smolder? I mean, they usually just run normal Smolder gloves anyways, right? Like they don't save for the blood one, do they? I'm not sure actually. Magnum Boa. I would just say it's like an overall buff for Kinwu. Blood weapons are like a little hard to get. Fiber Blade buff, just buffing free attack speed for the daggers. They're trying to buff dagger auto attackers, so like Jackie. Are there any other dagger auto attackers? Oh, Daniel as well. Daniel Jackie buffs. Sure. Two-hand sword, arcane edge -3, chain nightmare -3. I'm two-hand sword nerfs, so if you're nerfs. Golden ratio. 2 extra amp, elemental bow, 2 extra amp. That adder is getting extra defense reduction, so they're pushing Death Adder. AO die, lost 3 AP. The Revenant's loss. Oh, wait, the Revenant got 20 extra damage per tick? Is Daniel back? 20 extra damage per tick is a lot. Or sorry, not 20, but like 10 extra per tick. Interesting. Cowboy hat, 5%. Blaster helm 2. Cyber Stalker. Tase, just the damage on the nerf. Oh, it's the amp one. Oh, you're right. Skill amp, skill amp. So it's an Abigail buff. Yeah. Spectre is the auto attack one. Yeah. So it's be like Abigail. I guess it's only really Abigail running Revenant, huh? So, I mean, maybe more melee amp characters will start running Revenant now, but I feel like it's still probably just going to be Abigail. It's really hard to get the full value of Revenant. Oh, Kathy maybe too. Kathy and I guess Piolo can also do it. I think Piolo also runs Revenant. So, some extra damage for them. Yeah, but like they just hotfix nerfed him, so that's why they just recently buffed him. Because people were running him like tank, bruiser, and like full damage. Like he had like 3 different builds. It was kind of like Kane, where you could play him like blue Kane, red Kane. He like I think his numbers were a little too high, but they fucking gutted his ass in like the hotfix, and then they just rebuffed him. The reason why he's #1 pick rate for the patch is because of the start before they hotfix nerfed him, where people realized like his numbers were a little high. Mr. Electro was getting 2 movement speed, Star Wilds getting 4 attack speed. Nightingale 30 extra HP, losing heal power. Schrodinger's box 2 defense, Aegis -2, Luxmia -2, Sultan's Adorned +1 AP, 6% vigor sounds pretty good, but I don't know if people will run it. Claudia Ring, heal power nerf, HP buff. Knee pads. 5 defense, 0.17 move speed. Killer heals. Oh shit. What the fuck? 5% skill amp? It's not unique. So this will add on, and 55 amp. Oh shit. Sounds really good. 55 amp. Like the highest amp shoe right now is Blood. But outside of Blood, it would be Legs of Steel, which is only 45. So it's 10% extra. Or it's 10 extra amp and you get 5%. For a heal cut, honestly, maybe it's not as good as I think, but like 10 amp, 5% for heal cuts, 5%. Let's say you have about 400 amp worth in items, because it just scales off items a percent. So 5 of that would be 5% of that would be 20 extra amp, 30 extra amp for a heal cut. So this is also a 4 score though. So it's like, it's actually not as good as I thought, running the numbers, but it's a pure amp shoes, and if you have an extra 4 score, like, why not, right? It would probably be like a last item buy, though. It wouldn't be, like, you definitely want to rush this item. Steel knee pad. Epic. Those is EOD boots, and they're making EOD a legendary this time. Huh. Interesting. Is this even good? 200 HP? It's just Hermes. Without the tenacity. And -10 defense. But you get HP regen. HP regen is such an underrated stat. Like 50% HP regen is actually like a lot of HP. It's just like a smaller upgrade to EOD boosting, going from like EOD to Hermes. But you do lose the tenacity. And this actually is 1 less or 2 less defense. So technically you go up like 2 defense. 2 defense. 2 defense, 200 HP, and 50% HP regen. Or 20% tenacity. And you need a meteor, so it's like an upgrade. 200 HP, 50% HP regen, 2 defense. Lose a tenacity. I mean, it's probably still worth to upgrade if you can for a meteor, but definitely want to save for 4 score for EOD, I think, if you can. Like EOD is probably still like a lot better. But like it's actually not a bad alternative now if you're like kind of poor and you just want to upgrade. SCV, extra skill amp, 2 attack power, 1 -2 on galaxy steps, and trial cameras. Wow, only 60 seconds for trial cameras, and that's it. Wait, I didn't even realize trial cameras lasted 3 times longer than normal cameras. What the fuck? I did not even realize that. It lasted 150 seconds. That is not right. Thank God they put it to normal cam time now. They builds dumb. Didn't AO die build good now? At least we got it. What do you mean? AO die got nerfed, I think, by like 2 amp or 2 AP. Isn't it? Honestly, not a bad patch. I can't tell though, like because I don't really know the meta since I haven't been playing as much. But I mean, patch looks good. It looks like they just hit like the right characters. They just nerf off like numbers and stuff, and it might not look good in other regions, but yeah, high-low KR is a lot different, and they're playing the game correctly, or as close to correct as possible, at least at like high yellow. The skill level over there is really high, so nerfing off like high-low KR is fine. But yeah, I think that's it. You guys have any questions? The new force core shoes is really interesting. Gives it another opening, another transition that people can run, which I think is really good. Because right now the only upgrade for amp shoes is just glacial shoes, or it's like a steel, and then sometimes it just feels really awkward to overlap on heel cut when you have like heel cut elsewhere in your build. But them just adding this full amp percent amp option is good. A nice alternative to EOD shoes as well, or sorry, to Hermes, just because, you know, a lot of times tanks won't be able to get that last 4 score for those boosted Hermes. So it's like a cheaper alternative. I actually really like the 2 new items, the 2 shoes, because it does address some of the issues on that slot right now, and it just gives a lot more wiggle room, or a lot more ways you could, like, you know, transition your build, which I think is good. The 5% is not unique, so it stacks with the other percent amps. So it's just like a straight amp choose. So 5% isn't that much. 5%, like, let's say your full build on like an amp character, because how the percent amp works is it's basically like a character like level percent amp, where it takes your base items and it multiplies it, right? So let's say we're full gold, right? We'll choose like a mage. Let's say like Theodore. Full amp would be 92 plus 130, so 200 plus 70, 270 plus 60, like 330 plus, let's say about, let's be generous and say 50, because we're missing out on some amp from these two. So about like 380, 350 to 400 when you're full gold, when you're fully kitted out. 5% of like 400 is only like 20. So it's just an extra like 20 amp on top of the extra 10 compared to Legs of Steel, and it also costs a 4 score as well, right? So it's just like a luxury item, I would say, because usually you upgrade your shoes last anyways when you're playing amp characters. let's say you're on like a build that has double heal cut, or let's say you're on a build that has heal cut already in your build, and you don't want to build Legs of Steel, right? Because Legs of Steel is like the only full amp shoes that you could build. Like Iron Maiden, you could build Iron Maiden too, but like it's not amp, so it doesn't scale with your abilities. And some characters want that extra amp for like other stuff in your kit that scales with like healing, or maybe like shields, right? Like Lenoir has like a shield on her E. Arda has extra healing on her on his W. That scales with amp, so it's definitely a good item. I think they added. I think they're probably gonna buff it though. I think these numbers are a little low, but we'll see. It's definitely like a last pickup as well. Like if you don't have anything else, you just build this. Human nerfs? Did Human get even get nerfed? Human even that strong right now? Rozzy, I think Rozzy looked pretty strong. I think Rozzy. I don't think there's any. I think Rozzy got buffed. Oh no. Rozzy did get nerfed. In the later stages, she does less damage with her second auto attack. Early game is buff. Early game buff is fine. I think Rozzy doesn't do as well in the early game. It's just when she gets a lot of items when she starts shredding. Is Yumin even like OP? I don't even think Yumin's that strong right now. Rozzy, I think I've seen a lot in ARM and stuff, but like I don't think Rozzy needs that big of a nerf, like a slight nerf, which is I think this is what they're doing. I think it's fine. What a point to make new EOD and rework EODs into another item. What do you mean? They made EOD like the gold item because it was gold item. It was a gold item in the past, which is probably why they just shifted it into the gold, and then they made steel knee pads the epic item, which is basically what EOD was before, and they just shifted EOD up to gold, and then they gave it extra. It's basically like old EOD. Knee pads, steel knee pads is basically old EOD, and EOD is like an upgrade, like it's like a smaller upgrade than if you go Hermes. Yeah, and that's it. Honestly, not a bad patch. I'd probably give it like a 7 or 8, but yeah, I think that's gonna be it